Have you ever stopped to consider the subtle differences between a teacher and a facilitator? In the realm of education, these two roles often become intertwined, yet they represent distinct approaches to learning. Let's start with the traditional role of a teacher. Teachers, in essence, are the bearers of knowledge. They are the ones who stand at the front of the classroom, delivering information and imparting wisdom. They are the ones who set the curriculum, grade the papers, and determine the pace of learning. The teacher's role is largely one of authority and control, a role shaped by centuries of educational practice. Now, let's shift our attention to facilitators. A facilitator's role is less about being the primary source of knowledge and more about guiding learners in accessing and understanding information themselves. Facilitators don't simply provide answers, they provoke questions. They don't dictate learning, they foster environments where learning can flourish. They don't evaluate success by grades alone, but by the growth and development of the learner. In essence, a teacher's role is often to instruct, while a facilitator's role is to guide. Teachers tend to focus on the content they deliver, while facilitators focus on the process of learning. Teachers often work from a position of authority, while facilitators work alongside learners, fostering a sense of shared responsibility and ownership in the learning process. But this isn't to say that one role is superior to the other. Both teachers and facilitators have their place in the educational landscape. The key is to understand the nuances of these roles and to recognize when each approach is most beneficial. The traditional teacher's role may be most effective in scenarios where specific knowledge needs to be transmitted quickly and efficiently. On the other hand, the facilitator's role may shine in situations where the goal is to cultivate critical thinking, problem-solving, and self-directed learning. So, teachers instruct, facilitators guide. But where does that leave our third role, the researcher? Let's delve into that in our next discussion. For now, remember this: education isn't a one-size-fits-all endeavor. It's a complex, dynamic process that requires a variety of roles and approaches. And whether we're talking about teachers or facilitators, the ultimate goal remains the same: to foster learning and growth. Researchers, a term often heard in university corridors, but what exactly is their role in the grand scheme of things? In the bustling ecosystem of academia, researchers are akin to explorers delving into the unknown. They are the pioneers, the trailblazers, who venture into uncharted territories of knowledge and understanding. Their primary focus lies in generating new insights, in pushing the boundaries of what we know and understand. They are driven by curiosity, by the insatiable desire to unravel the mysteries of the universe, to decode the complex mechanisms of life, and to find answers to the most pressing questions of our time. They are not just seekers of knowledge, but creators of it. Researchers spend countless hours immersed in studies, conducting experiments, analyzing data, and writing papers. They are often found buried in books, engrossed in complex equations, or lost in thought, pondering over the intricacies of their field of study. It's a demanding role, one that requires patience, persistence, and a relentless pursuit of truth. However, the mindset of a researcher often differs significantly from that of a teacher. Teaching requires a different set of skills, a different approach. A teacher's role involves not just the dissemination of knowledge, but the ability to inspire, to motivate, and to guide students. They need to understand the learning needs of their students, adapt their teaching methods accordingly, and create an environment that fosters learning and growth. While it's not unheard of for researchers to take on teaching roles, it's important to understand that their primary focus remains on research. This can sometimes result in a disconnect, as their teaching responsibilities may not always align with their research objectives. In such cases, the learning experience of students may be compromised. So, what does this mean for the world of academia? Well, it's not a question of choosing between researchers and teachers, but rather understanding the distinct roles they play. Researchers are undeniably crucial to academia, but are they best suited for imparting knowledge to students? The answer may not be as straightforward as it seems, but it's a discussion worth having as we strive to shape the future of education. Could facilitators be the missing link in our academic institutions? A thought-provoking question indeed, and one that merits a closer look. Let's first consider the essence of a facilitator. In essence, a facilitator is a catalyst, a guide, a mentor who nurtures an environment conducive to self-discovery, self-directed learning, and critical thinking. They're not there to fill an empty vessel, but to spark a flame, to stimulate curiosity, and to guide learners as they navigate their own educational journey. Now imagine this approach applied within the hallowed halls of our universities. The potential benefits are immense. Facilitators could foster a culture of independent learning, encouraging students to take ownership of their educational journey. This isn't just about imparting knowledge, it's about equipping students with the tools they need to continually learn, adapt, and grow in a rapidly changing world. But that's not all. Facilitators can also play a crucial role in developing critical thinking skills. In a world where information is readily available at the click of a button, the ability to critically analyze, evaluate, and synthesize information is more important than ever. Facilitators can guide students in honing these skills, fostering a generation of critical thinkers ready to tackle the complex challenges of the 21st century. But let's not discard the role of traditional teachers just yet. There's a wealth of wisdom and experience there that can't be overlooked. Perhaps the solution lies not in replacing teachers with facilitators, but in training teachers to adopt facilitation techniques. This could enhance their teaching methods, making learning more interactive, engaging, and effective. In essence, it's about creating a balanced blend, a synergy of sorts, where the roles of teachers and facilitators intertwine, complementing each other for the betterment of the learners. Perhaps it's time to rethink our approach, to blend the roles of teachers and facilitators for the betterment of our learners. After all, isn't education all about preparing the leaders of tomorrow, today? Imagine a world where teachers, facilitators, and researchers coexist harmoniously. Is it possible? Let's dive into the depths of this idea. The traditional role of a teacher is to impart knowledge, using their expertise to enlighten students. Facilitators, on the other hand, guide learners to reach their own understanding. Researchers, with their focus on discovery and exploration, bring a different perspective to the learning environment. But what if we could integrate these roles, bringing together the best of all worlds? How could this transform the educational landscape? Imagine a teacher who not only imparts knowledge but also facilitates discussions, encouraging students to think critically and form their own conclusions. This teacher facilitator is not a mere purveyor of information, but also a guide, steering students towards meaningful learning experiences. Now let's add the researcher into the mix. The researcher's role is to explore, to push boundaries, and to bring new knowledge to the fore. Integrating the researcher's role with that of the teacher and the facilitator could create a dynamic learning environment where new ideas are constantly being introduced and discussed. We've journeyed through the roles of teachers, facilitators, and researchers, but what have we learned? In the shifting sands of the educational landscape, we've discovered that these roles are not as rigid as they once seemed. Teachers, traditionally seen as the sole bearers of knowledge, are now sharing the stage with facilitators who guide learning rather than dictate it. This shift allows for a more personalized and engaging learning experience, fostering an environment where students are encouraged to explore and inquire. We've also explored the role of researchers in the university setting, who, despite their invaluable contributions to academia, may not always be the best fit for teaching roles. Their focus on research often leaves little room for the nurturing of students, which is a crucial aspect of education. This is where facilitators come into play, bridging the gap between research and teaching by promoting an environment of active learning. The integration of these roles presents a myriad of potential benefits. For one, it allows for a more holistic approach to education. By combining the expertise of researchers, the guidance of facilitators, and the traditional knowledge of teachers, we create a dynamic learning environment that caters to a wide range of learning styles and needs. Moreover, this synergy can lead to more innovative teaching methods. With researchers bringing in the latest findings, facilitators adapting these insights into digestible lessons, and teachers ensuring the foundational knowledge is solid, we can foster an educational experience that is both cutting-edge and grounded. Finally, this integrated approach can facilitate more meaningful connections between students and the material they're learning. By actively participating in their education, students are more likely to retain information, develop critical thinking skills, and cultivate a lifelong love for learning. In conclusion, the future of education is not a one-size-fits-all model. It's a dynamic, evolving entity that requires the collaboration of various roles to truly thrive. As we venture into the future, it's worth considering, could the synergy of teaching, facilitating, and researching be the key to unlocking our full educational potential?